How's it going, everybody? It's me, Arctic, and in today's video we're going to be going over a artifact guide for Cyno. We're basically going to be talking about the best artifact choices for him and kind of how I think they're going to work in with stat distribution and whatnot for his builds. In terms of stat distribution on what artifacts you want to run, for an attack focused build I would definitely recommend running an attack percent timepiece, and then you're going to want to run a crit damage or crit rate hat with like an attack percent kind of focus on the bottom part of that, if not actual elemental mastery, because if you have elemental mastery substats you are going to be getting that extra like damage bonuses with his passive. And then for goblet, on both builds I would recommend running electro damage goblet, just because yeah, really, if you run like elemental mastery goblet you could get that extra damage bonuses for most of his stuff, but I think electro damage is going to be a little bit better overall. Plus, if you are going for an elemental mastery focused build, yeah, I would run an elemental mastery timepiece and then go for like attack substats, crit rate substats, basically just trying to get your Cyno to have a good solid baseline in terms of where his stats are going to be, and then basically round it out with a whole bunch of elemental mastery and focus in on that. So Cyno's best in slot set, personally, I think is going to be the Gilded Dream set, and the reason behind this is because it has to do with elemental mastery, and that centers around Cyno's passives and also his damage very nicely. Now, to fully utilize this set, you're going to probably have to use it in a team with either like Dendro characters or other teams where Cyno is going to be the one doing most of the reactions. This gives you 80 points of elemental mastery with the 2-piece, and then the 4-piece, whenever you trigger an elemental reaction, you're going to get this buff for 8 seconds. Either it's going to give you 14% for each party member who is the same as the equipped character, or it's going to give you 50 points of elemental mastery for each different elemental type. So pretty much what that means is that if you are running a team with just Cyno as the Electro character, you're going to be getting 150 points of elemental mastery, which is quite substantial, and that actually gets turned into like damage buffs and whatnot for Cyno. But alternatively, if you're running Cyno with a team with like Electro characters, you're going to be getting a 14% attack for each Electro character you actually have. So for example, if you put in like a Raiden Shogun or like a Kuki Shinobu, that kind of thing, basically taking care of an extra Electro slot. That also is going to actually help with your energy needs, because Cyno does have a pretty high energy cost on his burst, and you're going to want to have his burst up pretty constantly if you are planning on using him as your main damage dealer. So the Echoes of an Offering set is going to be the best in slot for an attack centered build. Basically it gives you a 2-piece bonus of 18% attack, and the 4-piece bonus is going to increase your normal attacks, and that is actually going to be based off of your 70% of your attack, so running a lot amount of attack is going to be very good. And I think that makes this actually pretty okay to run versus like an elemental mastery centered build is because Cyno, when he casts his burst, does get an extra 100 points of elemental mastery. But on top of this, you're going to just be getting some high normal attack damage, which is where most of what I think you're going to be doing with Cyno in his ult is going to be coming from. So you're going to be wanting to run this with like high base attack weapons. There's several good options in my weapons guide that I've actually covered that are going to be good with this. The third set to run on Cyno, and this one kind of falls in the category of just overall very good on Cyno. It gives you 15 points of electro damage, which is going to round out all of your damage. And then this also increases the damage caused by electro-rated reactions by 40%. This you also get a 20% increased damage bonus from the aggravate reaction. So I think it's like 40% as default, but I think this boosted up all the way to 60% extra damage. So definitely quite good if you are running aggravate Cyno as a build. This is going to shorten the cooldown of your elemental skill, which is pretty important because you can, in theory, get like you basically can get like 3 elemental skills in within the ult duration, extending out his ults. But with this, I think you can actually decrease that down and get around like 3 or 4. If this will interrupt basically the intervals where you can do the special charge attack inside of his burst. So keep that in mind. You might get your elemental skill a little bit too soon for that better elemental skill charge thing in your burst, so that might actually pose a problem. And then in terms of other sets that I think are going to be viable in terms of 2-pieces, the Gladiator's Finale 2-piece, that just gives you extra attack. You can potentially run like a 2-piece of attack and then another 2-piece of attack and get a pretty good build, or a 2-piece like attack, 2-piece EM. I think would be a pretty okay build to go with as well. You could go like 2-piece Thunder Fury, 2-piece attack as well. I think that could be interesting. The emblem set, only the 2-piece on this is going to work because the burst can't be worked with Cyno because he doesn't do burst damage. But 20% elemental energy recharge is going to be pretty okay if you are having a bunch of energy issues. Although I think really just running an extra Electro teammate is going to be a little bit better because Electro Resonance, it does give you that actual energy particles when you're doing Electro reactions. So I think that is going to be kind of better than running a 2-piece on your Cyno like this. But that's basically going to be it for my Cyno build. I'm probably actually going to run either Thunder Fury 4-piece or go for the new Elemental Mastery set, because I think that would actually be really cool to run on him as well. In like Electro Charge team comps as well. That's one of the things that I'm probably going to lean more towards with my Cyno versus the like Aggravate builds. Because I don't really have too many Dendro characters right now, but I potentially will go for more Dendro eventually. I still don't know. But anyway, it's been me, Arctic. I will see you all in the next one. Farewell. And I remember, I will actually be wishing for Cyno when he actually releases, if not through that whole season, because I only have like 40 wishes. Anyway, see you all in the next one. Farewell.